Welcome to the futurist public intellectual. Amidst all the chaos that's happening at the national level, it's important to recognize that, in terms of the general arc of American history, the country is heading in a liberal direction. That has always been the case. That's why the slaves were emancipated, women got suffrage, and the gays can marry. However, now liberalism has fractured. The root word of liberalism is liberty, and yet the left advocates for a nanny state where individual freedom would be curtailed. The left does not espouse classical liberal values anymore, but rather a vision of a world where others have the freedom to encroach upon your life. Take illegal immigration, for example. Except for some racial and ethnic discrimination along the way, the United States has been prolific in its openness to immigration. Almost everyone in the country is an immigrant or a descendant of an immigrant. Being a liberal in this country now means that you advocate for open borders, effectively accepting anyone, absolutely anyone, who shows up at our doorstep. The left likes to twist the idea of freedom and say that these illegal migrants should have the freedom to go where they want to go. The problem is that freedom cannot be viewed from the perspective of one party. So many laws are essentially about curbing the freedom of a person in order to protect another person. For example, that's exactly what rape is. The underlying action, the sexual act, is not in itself a problem. The reason rape is a crime is because the sex is happening to a victim who does not want it to happen, even though the perpetrator is exercising their freedom. Similarly, immigration itself is not the problem. The real issue is that the victims, Americans who did not consent to unvetted neighbors, are being forced to accept the freedom exercised by a third party. This is why being conservative is alternative nowadays. Conservatives tend to be more about liberty than the liberals, which in a way makes them more liberal than liberals. While the liberals used to be on the right side of history, they are now left to defend untenable policy positions like open borders. Instead of unreflectively following mainstream trends, check out the alternative. Even if you don't like Donald Trump, you can still prefer conservative policies. Thank you for listening to the Futurist Public Intellectual.